Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. You guys, Alyssa really is the new Meghan. Um, what a bitch. Anyway, all right. So they started by talking about more of these ridiculous, excuse me, clown car cabinet appointments that that fucking guy is making. Linda McMahon, who ran the WWE for the Department of Education, Dr. Oz for running Medicare and Medicaid, Sean Duffy from The Real World and The Road Rules for Department of Transportation. That one just breaks my heart to see Pete Buttigieg give that job to that idiot. Sean Duffy's a well documented idiot. There's a number of people because he was in Congress for a little while, and there's a number of people that have written he's one of the dumbest people I've ever met. Um, and of course, Alyssa Farrah Fowler Griffin starts to defend. Um, you know, I agree with John Fetterman. If Oz is not going to interfere with Medicare and Medicaid, then I'll vote for the guy. Um, well, that's his job is to actually administer Medicare and Medicaid. But any of these assholes are going to say whatever they want to get confirmed. Um, and then we start to talk about the Department of Education, and goes on to defend Linda McMahon. She ran the WWE from a regional thing to a multinational organization. I don't give a flying fuck. This is education. And then she gives away the whole um, her whole ideology about she believes in school choice. So she believes in the voucher system. And goes on about how the money should follow the kid, blah, 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 how it gives the kids better opportunity, blah, 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 blah. And then Sarah, and I'm just going to circle back to this or cover this for a second. Sarah Haynes says something about disagreeing with Alyssa, that she thinks that we need strong public education, but she understands that this is a consequence of my vote. Was that a slip of the tongue that she meant it's a consequence of the vote or it's a consequence of her vote? In fact, that she voted for this and therefore says she voted for Trump. She has said publicly she voted for Harris, but she just said, I understand this is a consequence of my vote. And I don't know if that means in the general sense, but I thought that was a little odd. And she does seem so tortured that I don't know. Like, I don't think she's going to last long on the show. And when Joy said, "We hate that Trump won," and she just put her head down, like, it's true though. We do, and it's fine to say that. I think Sarah's one of those people that's scared that she's going to end up on a list, and the Trump administration is going to come after her. She's a wuss. And so anyway, so Sunny finally gets an opportunity to explain why she doesn't believe in the voucher system, and like a good prosecutor, comes with facts about research that shows that, and it's not this isn't a difficult logical process to follow. When you assign whatever school tax money to each child and then let the parent take that money with the child, you're taking money and give it to charter schools or private schools. You're taking money out of the public education system. That's literally what you're doing. You're saying, this is my school dollars and I will send it to whatever school I want to. Otherwise, that money all goes to the public school. And if you want another school, you have to pay for it yourself. So, and she keeps saying good education shouldn't only be for the wealthy. But the problem that Alyssa is dealing with here is that she's just assuming a public education can't be good, and not recognizing that the Department of Education and all the money that goes to the Department of Education helps to bolster those schools that have less money and for the people that live in areas that are more poor. And by taking money away from it, you reduce the ability for those schools to provide a better education for their students. So Sunny goes on to tell, given the facts that it leaves schools underfunded, and in fact children don't actually end up doing better on the whole. And Alyssa tries to interrupt. And Sunny says, well, let me just finish this. And she keeps kind of trying to interrupt, like over and over again. Like, oh, you're talking for 3.5 minutes. Well, it wasn't 3.5 minutes, but listen, bitch, you got to talk for as long as you wanted at the top of the segment. No one interrupted you. Why do you feel the right that you get to interrupt someone else? This is very Republican behavior. And then not only like won't let her finish, just continues to talk and to try to make her point while Sunny is talking. This is such Republican bullshit. It's like, well, I don't like the point that you're making, so I'm going to shout over you so that you don't get to make it because it disagrees with my view. It's such bullshit. It's so rude. It's so spoiled and entitled. I hate it. And the fact that what the argument that she's making is incorrect. Eventually, she gets to make her point, and she says, "Well, I worked on this one committee that worked with this one school, and we showed that these kids in this dramatic arts program did really well." Okay, great. That's one example of a charter school doing really well. And don't get me wrong, those schools do great. But and Whoopi tried to point this out, but they didn't follow through on it. She said, Alyssa said herself, these specialty schools, if you can get in, do wonders for children. If you can get in, that is exactly the problem, Alyssa, is that you don't really get to choose whatever school you want. You have to be accepted by that school. And of course, you don't think that racism exists. So if you think that black kid from the inner city school is going to get into that charter school with all those white suburban kids, you're fooling you're fooling yourself. It's just another form of elitism. And the fact that she can't even see it and she doesn't even want to hear it. As soon as the statistics that and Sunny's giving out national statistics over a period of time, the research that's been done over charter schools across the country, and she just wants to shout it down because she doesn't like what it's saying. Bullshit. It's just bullshit. But that's the whole point. Yes, those schools that for the arts and for sciences and those specialized schools and sort of higher elementary education are great for kids that have propensity for those things, if you can get in. But you have to have the ability to figure out you have a propensity for that. So you need a high quality, elementary education in order to understand that you've got that propensity, right? When Whoopi's talking about Head Start, like if you're actually paying attention to the kids, and I'm not saying that we do a great job of this. We're at the moment, we don't. But pulling public money out of public schools and giving it to private schools is not going to help the vast majority of children. So if you've got, and let's say it works, and you've got these kids that are that have a good abilities in the arts, and so they go to the art school, and there's kids that have good ability in science, and they go to a science school, and there's whatever other specialty schools there are, and so what's left is these kids that don't have specific propensity for something, that just want a good education, generally learn, might be late bloomers, but their funding for their education is now decimated because you've taken all the money away with all those other kids that have some sort of special talent that they're probably born with. And now you're not giving those kids a chance to learn. It's so fucking fucked up. No to school vouchers. Yes to public education. If you've got the means and the money to send your kid to a private school, but great. But that shouldn't come at the expense of everybody else's education. Fucking hell. So anyway, Alyssa's now on the list. If she wasn't there already, that was fucking rude. And to watch Whoopi be like, nope, I'm shutting this shit down, because it is, nobody can understand what anybody else is saying, and it's 100% Alyssa's fault. She wouldn't shut the fuck up. Oh. Joy is right, though. I mean, It's a lot of anger going on, and then there's a lot of gloating going on, and it's not helping. But anyway, then Ronan Farrow came on. Excuse me, I don't usually talk about the guests and scared the shit out of me. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I immediately turned my phone off and back on. It's like, well, that'll have to happen every day. Jesus Christ. And Joy, of course, like, good luck getting any of that legislation with Trump. He wants to use this shit against us. So that didn't make me feel good about our incoming administration. Um, ugh. Anyway, um, that's infuriating. I'm glad to see Sunny sticking to her guns. I don't think that's getting easier every day for those two to sit next to each other. Um, and Elizabeth clearly not Elizabeth. Oh my God, that's reaching back. Amy Alyssa Farrah Fowler Griffin clearly got a talking to in between the in that first commercial break, because she came back, without some guns blazing. But we're going to have a conversation. But you're not having a conversation when you're talking over people. See, I'm just going to get mad about it if I keep talking about it. Oh, anyway, I'm going to take a little break. Might be a couple days before we post again. We'll see what happens over the next few days. But Timmy tired, and I get it. That's I. What's her face? Sarah's like, every day I come here and I have to read all this stuff, and I just don't want to. Well, you know what? This isn't my job. I just do this so that I can vent, and I don't want to watch this show anymore right now. I don't want to. I need a little checkout for a minute. And Disney's not paying me to show up, so maybe a little break. We'll see.